Hey guys, so happy to see you here back at this channel, and I hope you're ready to draw something cute in Procreate. I'm so ready for the summer and I thought, why not draw this cute watermelon in Procreate today? So I really hope you'll enjoy this tutorial, and let's get started. So the first thing we have to do, as always, is create a new canvas. So we'll go to this little plus sign, we'll choose square, and it will take us to our little canvas. In this tutorial, we'll be using 4 different brushes, 2 of which will be Procreate brushes. So we'll be using 6B pencil for shading and Inka brush for the drawing. Inka brush could be found under calligraphy. And we will also use the dotted line brush, which is my brush. You can download it and use it. And we will also use the star brush, which you don't have to use it, but if you want, you can download and use it. We'll also use the cute watermelon color palette, which you can also download and use, or you can use your own colors, totally fine. So now let's get started. So we'll go first and take the Inka brush, then we will go to the color palette and we'll take this first red right here. So the first thing we'll have to do is create the body for the watermelon. So we'll start by creating a triangle. So we'll create one line down like this, and then we'll connect it with the curvy line. Great. So now make sure you don't have any gaps. This brush is a little tricky, it leaves the texture, so you really have to check that you don't have any gaps. And now you can just color fill it. I'll just make it a little smaller, sort of like this. Good. So we should end up with the triangle like this. So now we'll go back to the layers. We'll rename this layer, we'll call it body. Yeah, that's the main part. Then we'll go and create a new layer under, and we will go and take this color right here. We'll create the second part of the watermelon. Watermelon we see is three-dimensional, so we'll see the other part. So all we have to do is create a line that will go along this one, sort of like this, go up a little, then connect it in a diagonal way like this. And we'll create one more like this. Good. Now we have to connect these guys together, and now we can color fill this area. Also color it. I just want to fix my line because, again, like I said, this brush is a little tricky because it has some texture, so I want to make sure it's a little more straight. Good. So I end up with something like this. Great. So now we'll go and rename it. We'll call it side body. Great. Then we'll go and create a new layer and we'll drag it onto the side body. Okay, so now when we have the body, we have to go and create rind. So we'll go to the colors. We'll take this first green right here. So first we'll create the rind for this part. So all we really have to do is just continue the line down like this. Continue this one as well. Sort of like this. And now we just have to connect them. So in a curvy line like this, we'll connect them. Now I'll just make this part a little bigger. This one doesn't have to be so straight. Now you can play around with it a little bit. Now also don't forget to connect it here. Otherwise you won't be able to color it. Then color it. Good, so we end up with the rind like this. So now we'll go and rename this layer. We'll call it rind. Great, but we also have to create the rind for this side, and it will be on separate layer for the shading purposes. So we'll go and create a new one. We'll call it sideline. Good. So now we'll go and switch our color to this light green. And for the sides, we're using the lighter color, so we'll be using the lighter color. And to create the side rind, all we really have to do is continue this line down a bit and connect it with this one, and we want it to be sort of like a rectangular. Just make sure that this line really continues. Good. And that's all. So now we have to do one more thing. So we have 2 sets of lines. So we'll go and create one more layer. We'll move it onto the sideline. We'll rename this layer. We'll call it rind 2. And we'll take this darker green. And all we really have to do is create one more layer of rind. So basically you repeat the step 2. So again, we'll continue this line down. We'll continue this line, and this one shouldn't be as thick as this one. So, and just create a curved line connecting these two, like this. Good. Now all you really have to do now is just color. Don't forget to connect it. And I'll just go and color all the gaps. Okay, so no gaps. So here we go. Now we'll do the same for the side rind. We'll go and create a new layer. We'll move it onto the rind 2. We'll call it Sideline 2. We'll switch our color to the lighter green, and we'll create the second rectangular like this. Color it. That's all. That's what we end up with. Our watermelon is almost there. We just need to create one more thing. So we'll go create one more layer. We will call this layer bottom rind. We'll switch to the darkest green right here. And all we really have to do is create a curved line connecting this side to this side. So this side to this side. So basically a curvy line like this going down. And just color it. I just want to go back and make sure I don't have a texture like this. Great. So we end up with the watermelon like this. Now our little watermelon is ready. Now we'll just go create the face, do the shading and the background. So now we'll go and create the face. So we'll go on top of everything. We'll call this layer face. We'll switch to this brown right here, and we'll create a cute little face. So we'll create 2 eyes and a little mouth and 2 cheeks. So we'll create the face somewhere here in this area. So we'll go and create 1 eye. So just a oval like this, doesn't have to be perfect. Now we'll just go and duplicate it, move it to this side. So here we go. Just probably move it a little up like this. Good. So we have 2 eyes. Now we'll go and switch to white. I don't have white here, but you can take white simply by double tapping this white area. So we'll create 1 big one and 1 smaller circle inside. The same here. Oops, that's a little too big. It's a big one and a small one. The cute eyes are ready. Now we'll just switch back to this brown. So we'll create a cute little mouse in the middle like this. Good. Now we'll switch to the pink. So we'll take this pink right here and we'll create 2 cute little chicks. So 1 here and the same one will go this way under the eyes. Good. So now we have this cute little face. Now we'll go and create the seeds. So we'll go back to the layers. We'll create 1 more layer on top. We'll call it seeds. We'll switch back to this brown. The creating seeds will be super easy. All you really have to do is create the shape for the water drop. So something like this and color it. Also, we'll create one right here, we'll create 3 right here, and 2 in between. So then we'll go and create 3 more. So we'll create 1. And by the way, if you don't want to draw it, you can just duplicate the layer. I don't have any problems drawing the seeds. It's kind of easy, and I want them to be different shapes. So I'll just draw them. 1 more, and I'll create 1 more here. Good. So now we'll go and create 2 more in between, so here and here. So I'll create 1 here. Good. And I'll create 1 more here. Good. So now we have the seeds. Now we'll go and create the highlights for the seeds. So we'll go and create a new layer. We'll move onto the seeds. We'll rename it, and we will call it Seeds Highlights. Good, then we'll switch to this color, and we'll create the highlights from this side. So it will go, we'll create a line like this from this side to this side. Now we'll do it for this for each seed. Good, and here's the last one. Here we go. So now it has the highlights. Awesome. Now we'll go and actually start shading. So we'll go to each part of the watermelon and create the shading for it. So we'll go to the body first. We'll take 2 fingers and swipe it to the right to create an alpha lock. We will switch to the 6B pencil, and I will then switch to this darker red right here, and I will make my brush big, and I'll add the shading to this part of the watermelon. So I will go here, create a shadow in this corner, going a little bit this way as well, just not too dark. Good. And I'll also add a little bit of shadow from this way, but just a little bit. It will be just a hint of shadow here. Good. So now we will go and work on this part. So we'll go to the side body, take 2 fingers, swipe it to the right. Then we will switch to this color right here, and we will create the shadow, the same thing we did right here, also from this side. So from this bottom up, and on this side. Good. Just like this. Awesome. Then I'll switch to this color and add a little bit of highlight right here. Good. That's all. Now we'll go to the rind. So we'll go to the rind first. Take 2 fingers, swipe it to the right. We'll switch to this color, and we will add some shadow going this way. Good. I will also make my brush smaller, and I will add some shadow on the edge right here, right under the watermelon body, the red one. Just add a line like this to make it a little more defined. Now we'll go to this part, take 2 fingers, swipe it to the right. We will use the same color. We'll be adding some shadow here as well. Good. Awesome. So now we'll go to the next rind. Take 2 fingers, swipe it to the right to make an alpha lock. We'll switch to this dark green right here. We'll add shadow the same way. So we'll go on, we'll make our brush big. We'll go to this part. We'll create the most shadow in this area. And then we'll just bring it down, just down the rind a little bit. Don't be too harsh. So sort of like this. Now I'll again make my brush smaller, and I'll add the same line as I did here. So now just a hard and defined shadow like this. It will go all the way. Good. Okay. So now we'll also create this shadow right here. So we'll go to this side rind too. We will switch to this color, add a little bit of shadow here as well. Good. just like this. So the last part is this one. So we'll go to layers, we'll go to the bottom line, take 2 fingers, make it alpha lock. We'll take the darkest green right here and we'll add some shadow here as well. Mostly to this part and a little bit on this side. Here we go. And that's all for the watermelon. We added the shadow. Now we'll go and add the highlights. So we'll go to create a new layer. We'll call it highlights. We'll switch back to the Inka brush. Then we'll first add highlights here. So we'll go to the colors. We'll switch to this one. And we will add the highlights. So all you really have to do is create these bubbles of light. Sort of like this. Good. I'll also create one more here. Awesome. And I'll create one more here. And a little one this way. Just like this. Great. Now we'll go to this part. Then we'll switch to this color. So we'll create a big one. And a smaller one here. Good. Then we'll go to the rinds. We'll switch to this color, the lightest green. We'll create one here. Just probably move it to the side a little bit, so I will select it with my select tool and move it to this side just a bit and adjust it. Good. Now with the last thing we'll have to add it here, so we'll go to the color palette. We'll take this one and we'll add a little one here, so little one like this and little one like this. And that's all. So one of the last things we have to do for this watermelon is create the arms and legs. So we'll go to the new layer. So we'll create a new layer. We will move it under all of the rinds. We'll call it legs. We'll switch back to this brown color, still using the Inka brush. So we'll create one leg here, one leg here, and little feet. They sort of look like the seeds. So one and another one. Cool, very cute. Now we'll go and create the arms, but we'll create a new layer for this. So we'll go on top of the body, we'll call it arms. We will still using the same brush, the same color. So we'll create one arm here, going up like this, and one cute little hand. Good. And we'll create one more going this way from this side. It will be a little higher, a little shorter. Here we go. Good. That's very cute. And now all we really have to do is create the background. So we'll go and do that. So we'll go to the very bottom of the layers. We'll go to the background color. We'll click on it and we'll switch our color to this light purple. Now we'll go and create one more layer. Under the legs layer, we'll call it shadow. Oops. Great. We'll switch to the 6B pencil and we'll switch to the purple, darker purple, and just create the shadow under the watermelon. So we'll just go and create a shadow like this. Good. So now we'll go and switch to white, and we will also switch our brush to the star brush, which you can download and you can use it, or you don't have to use it at all, totally up to you. Now we'll create a few stars, but for this we'll have to create a new layer. We'll create a new layer on top of everything. We'll call it stars. Cool. So we'll create a few stars. So we'll create a big one right here and a smaller one near it. Then we'll go to this side. We'll create one big one and two smaller ones. So one smaller one here and one right here. Good. Then we'll go and create two more on this side. So like this, and make it smaller. Good. Then we'll make it smaller and create a few stars on the canvas. So one more here, good. Then we'll go and switch our brush to the dotted line brush and we'll create a few little star dots. So again, we'll make your brush smaller and just create a few dots on the canvas. Anywhere really. Good. Now we'll make it a little bigger and we'll create big stars. So we'll create one here, one more here, and the big one right here. Good. So now we can actually go and add a few more stars to the watermelon itself. So we'll switch to this color, so we'll sample this color. Switch back to the stars and we'll add a few cute little stars to the watermelon itself. Good, and now this guy is ready. We created this cute watermelon in Procreate, and I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial because this cute little guy is so adorable. And if you'll be drawing this watermelon and posting it on Instagram, don't forget to tag me because I'm always happy to see your work. You guys are absolutely amazing and your work is even better than mine. You know, you are absolutely great. And if you want to find out more tutorials, go to my Patreon page. And again, well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and I'll see you in the next one.